Hello and welcome to Dan Talks United. And yes, we've got another game coming up tomorrow, Saturday, against Sunderland, but it's a 3:00 kickoff. So it's that watershed game. It's not going to be live on UK channels. So obviously, we're going to have to find a way to watch this one. Not going to be great. Been so used to the games being live on either Sky Sports or TNT or whatever else. But this one, 3:00 game, they need to stop these 3:00 games now, or if they're going to have them, scrap this watershed thing where they're trying to force people to watch the sort of lower leagues and what have you. We want to watch Premier League. We want to watch it live. Get it back on UK TV. It's just ridiculous, this rule that they've got. But anyway, that's where we're at. We've got Sunderland. Let's see what we're going to do against Sunderland. We've secured Champions League. So let's just put this on the screen. Champions League secured. After we've beat our bitter rivals, Liverpool, beat them 3-2. Was looking a bit crazy at one stage. We were cruising in that first half, 2-0 up. And then second half, we sort of capitulated. Too many mistakes. Ahmad comes on, makes his mistake. Then Lamons, who's been impressive since he's come in, does a bit of a mistake. And here we go. It's 2-2 before you know it. So an evening to you, SJG. So, as I was saying, luckily we got through that one. We secured Champions League, and that's the main thing. And obviously we want to, as the title says, can we push and get that third position? Obviously Liverpool lost against us, so that puts them a bit further back than us. Villa were already behind us. Chelsea are going to get back in that Champions League spot, so I wouldn't have thought now. It's probably a bit too late for them, the way they've been playing. So hopefully we can get that third spot. So as we're saying there, it's nice to get back in the Champions League. Nice to hear that Champions League music again. Fed up of listening to that Europa League music, although I've not been in that for a while either. Not been in any competition for a while. So it's obviously things turned round since Carrick's come in. Not going to dwell too much on Carrick, but again, anybody watching, I'm going to ask the question all the time. It's been asked in the press conference about whether he's been told if he's got the job yet. He's in a waiting game. I keep saying that he knows something, the way he answers the questions. I would have thought by now, Ineos, as I call them still, will have thought about who they want. We keep getting told all the sort of top managers are not really available now, and that's the way it looks. We've talked so much about whether we should really impose ourselves as Manchester United and go to any team that we want their coach and say, PSG, I know you're a big club, but we're Manchester United. Get over here, Enrique. I mean, most coaches that are coached for England would do their stint and be hop, skip, jump to Manchester United after a European Championship or a World Cup. But Tuchel, different this occasion. Is this signs of times to come with Manchester United? Do we need to start proving ourselves to show that we are a serious club again? Are we a serious club again? You guys watching, tell me. Because it's been a while since we can be taken seriously. We've been the laughingstock for a few years now, the way that we've played, some of the stuff that we've done, some of the decisions that we've done, some of the players that we've bought, some of the money that we spent on some of these idiots. So we need to turn things around. We've had a good window last summer. We need to repeat this in Ineos and have a similar window again, if not better. And we need to be bringing in 5, 6, 7 players probably. You don't want to bring in too much at once, but we need an overhaul. There's a lot of players that need to go. There's players that we might want to stay for a bit, like your Casemiro's, but unfortunately, he's going to move on. Probably the right decision. Not sure what people think that are watching. Probably the right decision, but he does need to move on. Ugarte, for me, also needs to move on. I've said this countless times. He's not good enough for Manchester United. So that midfield is something that we're going to really need. As Ragnick said, open heart surgery. And that midfield is going to need open heart surgery. It's going to need a lot of work on it. It's going to be left with just Maino. I like Maino. He's still developing, still young. Obviously, signed his contract not so long ago. Gets that winner against Liverpool, but there's still a lot of work for him to do. Still a lot of development to see as well. And we just need to get the combinations right. We need to get that combination right in midfield, and it has to suit the people that are there. So obviously, Mainoo's going nowhere, signed his new contract. Who can come in to complement him? Who can come in? Obviously, there's been so many names mentioned. Your Belabers of the world, for example, your Andersons, but I strongly believe Anderson will be going to City. City are confident about it. I'm sure he's going there. There's Adam Wharton, but there's little, if you want to call them leaks, there's little bits coming out of the club where they're trying to say that Wharton's very similar to Mainoo, so would there be a point in buying him? I don't know if I'd be inclined to maybe agree. I've probably said it before that they are very similar. We do want someone that's going to sit in the six and command that area and be disciplined, be able to put the foot on the ball, be able to spray a pass here and there, but know their craft. So we don't just want some youngster that's learning their craft. We want someone that knows their craft, like Casemiro did, but obviously a younger version. Comes in, disciplined, sits in the six, and for me, allows Kobbie Mainoo to sort of advance a little bit forward and sort of do that box-to-box, that 8 role. Again, hard to know what his preferred role is because we haven't seen enough of him, but I would always say that he can do something going forward. And look at the goal, look at the run against Brentford. These are sort of things that Mainoo can do and he's got in his locker. So obviously I had a debate with David Speaks Football whether he's 5 times less the player than Pogba is. Again, time will tell on that one. Very hard to say because Pogba himself has won a lot in the game. He deserves more respect. Very good player. Won a lot in the game. Just didn't do or just didn't get what he deserved at Manchester United. Got, what was it, a couple of cups when Jose were there, but he should have got way more. So anyway, like I say, we need to really have a good summer this year and really push on, because if we want a battle against City, we want a battle against Arsenal, who look like they're probably going to win the league now after City messed up. That guy, you could see the bottle in his pocket. He was ready to go to say that Arsenal are bottling the league again. But instead, heads in his hands, and it wasn't looking great. Luckily, they came back and drew against Everton, but Everton were having their way against City. Not sure what happened because I didn't watch the whole game, but sometimes you can speak too early. But again, if we want to chase them down and actually compete, so it's all right beating them as a one-off game, but we've got to compete throughout the league. We've got to beat the lower sides and be better at that. And we've got to maintain, and again, we can't argue that we've beat big sides this season. We can't argue with that. We have beat Arsenal once. We have beat City once. We have beat Liverpool twice. And again, we can't forget we confirmed and secured the Champions League spot against Liverpool at home in front of the crowd. Nothing better than that. Well, there is much better than that, but for where we are, there's nothing better than that, especially this season. But we've beat them. We beat Villa. So, we've beat the rivals. We've beat Chelsea. We've beat what's around them. We beat Newcastle once as well. I know Tottenham doesn't count this season, but we beat them too. So we need to maintain that, continue that, but not just be a one-off side. We need to have some consistency because some of our players don't have consistency. So talking about midfield and also some of the stuff that's been going on at Real Madrid, a little bit of a joke there in terms of like a bit of a layout that you get in like the Champions League where you go into semi-finals and then the final. And there's been a lot of news about players falling out, some players attacking staff and all sorts. I think there's been some suspensions now. Not so funny, Valverde, because I don't know how serious it got between him and Tchouaméni because Valverde's had some sort of brain injury apparently. So I don't know how serious that got. Alvaro there that used to play for us, that was it Ten Hag that got rid of him? We could do with him at left back. I think he's been involved in an altercation as well. There's been some dressing room unrest. And in the final, is Rudiger and Tchouaméni. Who would win out of Rudiger and Tchouaméni, actually? That would be, I know it's not really football related, but that would be interesting because Rudiger looks like he can hold his own, and Tchouaméni is obviously done something serious to Valverde, so I don't know. But very interesting stuff going on there at Real Madrid. Now, one of the reasons I've put this up there, as much as it's a little bit of a laugh, we have been linked to Tchouaméni. Talking about midfield, would Tchouaméni be the right one for you? People that are watching, I think, to be fair, I'd be quite happy with Tchouaméni. Not saying it was really my first choice that I was thinking of, but again, there isn't loads out there. I think I always liked Camavinga, but he seemed to have had a bit of injury issues of late. I don't know what Tchouaméni's been like. I think Camavinga gives you a little bit more in terms of where he can play, because I know, again, I'm not wanting to bring this guy into play in defence, but I know Camavinga can play there. I feel Camavinga's better on the ball. There's probably a bit more energy, but Tchouaméni is a quality player, seasoned professional, international, and I think we could do worse than getting Tchouaméni. And again, it's whether we think that is better than some of the other players that we've been linked to. So like your Andersons, again, I still think he's going to City anyway. Is your Gomez at Wolves, for example. There's Wharton that we've already mentioned. There's Baleba. I really do like Tchouaméni. I would have him. The only thing I'd say is that I wouldn't want to have any issues because we have done reasonably well to start getting rid of some of the players that are or have been causing issues. I'd be happy to see the back of Sancho, for example. Rashford's a different one because, again, I still like Rashford. I still think it's a shame that Rashford hasn't fulfilled what he should have fulfilled at Manchester United, especially as a boyhood Manchester United fan and a youth player. But it is one of those things. And I think it's just trying to get, again, Garnacho was another one, leaking the team news, we believe, potentially, allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble for that, but I just don't want drama coming in when we're just trying to settle things down at Manchester United. So, yeah, I mean, players bust ups. There's bust ups in dressing rooms a lot. This is not the first time we'll have had bust ups in our dressing room as well. It'll happen at City, it'll happen at Arsenal, you name it. But it's when it comes out like this, and there's so much of it. There's Mbappe that's not on there. Maybe he just didn't get to the semis. Who's potentially causing issues. And there's meant to be a petition for Mbappe to leave, and it got up to 30 million signatures apparently. Obviously, Real Madrid claim to have 600 million fans worldwide. Where these 30 million are coming from, they're obviously not match day fans because you wouldn't fit that many in a stadium. But apparently, that's how much signatures they've got. Now, a lot of people are thinking that maybe he will be available. But the thing is, for us, we couldn't afford him with that salary and possibly what Real Madrid would want for him still. So, and I mean, you can never say you don't need a player like that because he scored, 40-odd goals, I think, for Real Madrid this season, considering they've got that many people wanting him out. So that's really interesting. Let's get the Friday drink down. It's Friday, guys. So, yeah, Tchouaméni could be an option. I sort of hope he's an option, but if I'm honest, I think we're going to end up with, and we're going to talk about this as we get into the summer anyway, and sort of the players that might be coming in, and we'll do sort of transfer speculation, and when we do get confirmations, we'll talk about that. But I can see us getting Baleba. I think Baleba's ready to go. I think he's obviously been knocked this season by not getting the move, good or bad, whether that's something that we care about. And then it's they talked about sort of 3 tiers or 3 layers of midfielder that might get in. So is that sort of top level where they're going to spend the most money, around that sort of 80 million mark. And then a little bit lower down where they might look at more of a £50 million one. And then more down the lower end where it's sort of 30 to 20 million if there was to go for 3. Now, obviously, they keep saying it's going to hinge on like Agate leaving, for example. But I think that's irrelevant. I think sometimes if you can't move the player on straight away, you still got to get what you need. And then you get rid of that player later down the line if it's causing an issue, not getting rid of them straight away. So we have to do that with Agate. He's not going to play for this team. He doesn't fit in this team. I don't suppose he's ever really fit in this team. There was that feeling that he was going to be all energy, almost not Jason Park, let's not say that, but what I mean is in that like a dog with a bone, never letting go, always chasing down, always there, always harassing, very good in the press, and that just doesn't seem to have materialised. He's just not good on the ball, can't really pass, his shooting's like Dallo's, so it's like what worth is he to Manchester United? So that's Real Madrid and the Fight Club. Now, let's move on to this guy. Now, we seem to talk about this guy a lot. Bruno Fernandes. He's won the Football Writers Association award. So that's by the journalists. So he hasn't got the player one yet. I'm not sure when that one is done. But at the moment, he's got the journalist sort of award. I think that's created a little bit of unrest there in terms of obviously rival fans saying, how can he win it? There's people like Declan Rice, you know, the Messiah, Declan Rice, because Arsenal have won everything and Declan Rice, you know, has been the top player this season. It can't go to a player that's not won a cup this season. It can't possibly do this. And that's what's been said now. Okay. And obviously, I predicted that Arsenal would win 2 cups this season. At one stage, I was thinking, oh my God, my prediction's out of the window. Not that I've put a bet on anything, but I would sort of say my prediction just looks like crap now. But they've sort of turned things around a little bit, and City let them back in a sense, or took the pressure off them after drawing against Everton. So they've got those points advantage. They've got some easy games towards the end as well. Now, obviously, some people might think that West Ham's not going to be an easy game because they're fighting for their lives, but I think West Ham are done. And then I'm trying to think who they've got the last 2 games. They are nothing games, I'm sure. I can't remember who they're playing now, but it is just plain sailing. I'm sure you've even got Burnley is one of them as well. It's like Burnley aren't going to do anything, are they? So I think they've got the league. And I've got a sneaky feeling they're going to do a nasty, sweaty, disgusting win against PSG and get like a 1-0 win. 1-0 to the Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal. George Graham days. And just get that sneaky little goal, maybe a Jokeres or something, maybe a penalty maybe. Although it would be difficult actually to keep Dembele quiet, to be fair, and Kvaratskhelia as well. I mean, Doué. I mean, I can keep going. The list just goes on and on and on with PSG. They're a fantastic side. It's created a cracking side there, Enrique, and that's exactly why a lot of, including myself, fans would want Enrique at Manchester United because he knows what he wants. He knows what works. He plays good football. I mean, I know the second leg didn't live up to the same billing as the first leg, but that first leg was out of this world. PSG versus Bayern Munich, out of this world. So the final between them and Arsenal, what's that going to be like? I hope. I mean, that's another thing as well that Enrique showed, is that he can do 2 sides of the game. First leg, end-to-end, basketball to a certain extent, but very entertaining, very attacking, beautiful football to watch. And then the second leg was a little bit more conservative to a certain extent, defended away better, got that goal, that important goal, and they go through, and they were quite comfortable. So it's got two sides to the game there. They can do the dirty side, they can do the beautiful side. So it depends on what Arsenal want to do. And I think if Arsenal want to go toe-to-toe, I think PSG will wipe the floor. I think the saving grace for Arsenal is that Saka looks like he's starting to hit form at the exact right time. Because I was worrying about that guy. Not that he's a player of ours, can do what he wants, but in terms of for Arsenal's sake, he wasn't looking great at times, and I think he's just started to hit that form. So that might just get him over the line, unfortunately, especially for any Arsenal haters. I don't particularly hate Arsenal, but I just can't stand the fans, if I'm honest with you. So just to finish off with the Bruno thing, what that's basically saying is that it's the first Man United player to win this award since Wayne Rooney won it last back in 09-10 season. And look at that, is shocking that we've not had a player that's been worthy. Although you could probably say Bruno's been worthy. It's just that he may have been overshadowed by other players at the time. But to say we've not had a player since 09-10 to get this award before now is quite shocking. This is Manchester United. It is very shocking. Very shocking. So what we are going to be looking at is, just as I normally do on FootMob, is just have a look at the last 5 games for both sides. Just going to tweak this so that I can look at this in a bigger format. Just 1 second. I'll do it like that. So here we are. So on the left-hand side, because Sunderland are the home side, and then the right-hand side is ourselves. So Sunderland then, they beat Newcastle 2-1. I think they did the double over them, actually. Sunderland beat Spurs, obviously at the time. Easy work, light work. Then they lost 4-3 to Aston Villa. They lost 5-0 at home, which is unlike them to lose at home, but they lost 5-0 at home to Forest. And then since then, they drew 1-1 with Wolves. Ourselves then on the other side, we drew with Bournemouth. Still don't like that. We lost against Leeds. Oh my God. We beat Chelsea narrowly, although Chelsea weren't great anyway. We beat Brentford at home. And we secured Champions League against Liverpool 3-2. So you can sort of see, obviously our form is a little bit better in the last sort of few games than theirs. They haven't been as good at home either, from what I can see and can gather. So hopefully we can sort of take some advantage. Obviously we've secured Champions League, but we can't take the foot off the gas. We need to be finishing third. And we need to get that small little cup win. That's all. It's not a cup win, but a small little win, a little trophy of ours to finish ahead of our bitter rivals Liverpool as well. So whilst we're on this, we'll just have a quick look at the predicted lineups that FootMob are looking at here. So looking at the predicted starting lineup there, then we'll have a quick look at Sunderland. Is there anything that we need to worry about there? So we've got Mukiele there in the centre back there. Alderette, never heard of him. Midfield, Xhaka. That's who. Peter Schmeichel, the legend, thinks we should buy Xhaka. Not for me. Would I turn my nose up at him being a squad player? It really depends on who we bought him before that, to be honest with you. But Xhaka, nah, not for me. He's what, 33, 34 now as well. Arsenal reject. Can we stop buying people's sloppy seconds, please? Lefebvre there, number 10 sort of position. Yeah, Brobby up front. I remember when Ten Hag looked like he wanted Brobby to come into Manchester United. Again, we've seen him take his top off a few times, and what that normally means is that he scores goals. Would I have him? No. Am I scared of him? No. Bit of a bruiser, bit of a battler? Yes. Can Maguire deal with him? Yes. So am I worried? No. So over to our side then. Yeah. Interesting, because I'm just thinking, we'll start at the back. So Le Mans, yes, made a mistake, but he is not going anywhere. He's going to be the starting goalkeeper. Dalot right back, Maguire and Martinez. Maguire and Martinez, interesting. I don't think I'd bring Martinez back in. I think I'd leave Heaven where he is. Shaw, not sure, because he was seeming like he had a bit of an injury, but again, if he's fit, let's put Shaw there. Casemiro and Meno, let's continue that partnership. We want to finish on a high. And then in that sort of sort of the wide areas, let's say. It's got Mount here, which is interesting. I don't think I'd be putting Mount in, to be fair. I think that's happening because Sesko's gone off injured and we're not sure what's going on there. False nine, sort of Cunha sort of finished off doing that. I would probably expect to see Mbumo false nine. Obviously, Bruno as the 10, and then I expect Cunha to be over at the left-hand side, and then maybe, if he's fit and in the right mental state after that poor back pass that led to Liverpool's first goal, maybe Ahmad. If not, I'd like to see, I know we keep saying it, and I think this is probably a good time to do it, bring Lacey in. Bring Lacey in. He's young, skillful, is chomping at the bit. You got the excitement when he came on a few times earlier on. I'd start Lacey, to be fair. I'd start Lacey me. So let's get Lacey on. Definitely, let's get Lacey on. So that's the sort of predicted lineup there. And again, just tell us what you think about that. Just tell us if you think that would work. Obviously, we've qualified now for Champions League. So as much as we don't want to take our foot off, I think we're okay to maybe blood some of the youngsters. I mean, there's only really Lacey to blood anyway. There is Fletcher brothers that have come in here and there. So we could do that. But I think the thing to do now, as always, so we've done the predicted lineup. So the last thing to do now, and obviously if there's anybody watching or anybody wants to put the comments in, please tell me your score prediction for Sunderland. Interesting one, because again, around the form of the teams, around the fact that Sunderland have been good at home up until more recently. We did beat them at home, but like I say, they have taken some scalps at home themselves. Could be a tight game because they are a good team, and I'm sure they're going to want to finish as high as they can. I don't think they've got any danger of being dragged into the relegation zone. I'm just having a quick look myself. So where are Sunderland now? They are 12th on 47 points. So, I mean, I can't see West Ham getting out of there now. I think they're just really poor. There's 3 games left. That's 9 points. Nope, they can't catch them. They can't catch them. So I think they are safe, aren't they, by the looks of that? So I think the only teams that can really be dragged into this now, mathematically anyway, is obviously Tottenham still. Forest, from a mathematical point of view, can still be dragged in. Looks like Crystal Palace could as well. And I don't think Leeds are out of the woods either. So I think both Newcastle, I think that's just a step too far for them to have caught Newcastle by the looks of that. Maybe just if there's a goal difference. Nah, it's not going to happen, is it? So for me, you're looking at Sunderland are fine, although they will still want to finish as high as they can. Just trying to think if they could do a sneaky little drop into maybe the conference, maybe if they were to win the rest of their games. Let's have a look. What would that give them? 50? Yeah, they could probably drop into a European position potentially if they were to win all their games and the others around them didn't. So they've got something to play for, is what I'm trying to work out there, really. So lastly then, because it's just going to be a quick video today, score prediction. I'm going to go with 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United. I don't think we'll get a clean sheet. I think you probably will get Brobbey just bundling over the line with a goal. We probably will see him with his top off running around. But I think we can convincingly win here. And I think it's because Sunderland have taken their foot off the gas. And I think we can get a 3-1 win. So please, for those people that watch this later on, put your score predictions in. I will look out for them and we'll discuss it after the game as well. So I'll be back here after the game against Sunderland tomorrow. 3 o'clock kickoff. I'm going to try my best to watch it somehow. I don't know how. Nobody's saying. And then we'll be on here to discuss the match, as always, and the review of the match, the reaction. So, yes, as always, thank you for tuning in to Dan Talks United. Please like, please share, and more importantly, please hit that subscribe button because it's really important to channels such as this. First season and all. Hope to be back next season. But again, for those that have been watching, thank you for your support. And I will see you after the Sunderland game. See you later, people.